Okay, good morning and welcome to a new edition of Iyun with Benzion, the Iyun share led by Harav Hagon Benzion Lang, yours truly. Today we're talking Yevamos stuff, Nun Aleph, number 51. We're talking about Maimer Achar Maimer, Get Achar Get. The teeth kite, the teeth, the depth of Mesechus Yevamos. This is the kishkas. If you had Mesechus Yevamos as a person or an animal, right, and you wanted to make cholent on Thursday night and eat cholent on Thursday night, this is a daf you go to make kishka and put it in your cholent. This is something that's really related to Mesechus Yevamos. If you're not into Mesechus Yevamos, I don't know how much you're going to enjoy this share, but give it a try. We have Machlokes and the Rabbanan in the Mishnah on Daf Nun. Only about two things, right? Two cases. Is there get achar get? Is there maimer achar maimer? The simple explanation is there is one brother, right? Two brothers. One brother is married to two wives, and he dies, and no children. So two co-wives falling to another brother. His brother has the ability to keep him or chalitza to one of them, right? He can't be bona shtei batim. He can only be bona by a sechas. He can do yibum to one, or he can do chalitza and pater both of them. If he does yibum to one, that paters the second one. But this guy is a really smart guy. He doesn't want to do that right away. He doesn't want to get into that. He does something called, he gives a get to one of them. Get is really not what you're supposed to be doing. He's giving chalitza, taking off the shoe, taking off his shoe, spitting. She's not doing that. She's giving him a get, or he gives her a get. He gives her a get. So he doesn't do chalitza. He doesn't choose to do chalitza. He does a get. So a get, that ruins it. It ruins it. Once you did a get, what's the explanation why you get ruins it? Like I've explained before, there's two kinyanim by in Yibum. There's a kinyan Yibum and a kinyan chalitza, kinyan Nesuin. It says Yevamo Yavo Alev Alakal Isha. Yevamo Alev is a kinyan Yibum. If you hold Yesh Zika, that would even effectuate immediately a kinyan Yibum. And we're going to see Gamliel hold that Maimer, 5 Tanoim, Nun Aleph Beis, hold that Maimer is Kona Kinyan Gomer. I would like to say that means it's Kona the Kinyan Yibum, not obviously the Kinyan Yisuin. You have to do a Bia for that. Bi'ila for that. A specific type of Bia would be enough to make her your wife Lagamre. If you give her a get, so you apostled her. Why did you apostle her? Because a get, even though it's ineffective for the Kinyan Yibum has nothing to do with Kitin, it is relevant for the Kinyan Yisuin, right? That's how you end the marriage. So you're ending the marriage. You precluded a Yibum over here, right? But you still have a Kinyan Yibum, which is available. You have to get rid of it. You have to do a chalitza. You have to do a chalitza to get rid of that. Let's say you do a get to one of them, and then you want to give a get to the second one. So that's the machlokas, Gamliel and the Chachamim. Gamliel holds the get is effective. And therefore, the get to the shnia is completely ineffective. You're doing what you did. The first one was already accomplished. The second one is completely ineffective, and therefore the nafkamina being that you're not usher to the krovos of the shnia, because if you give a get to a woman, you're usher in her krovos, you're usher to her sister, mother, and daughter, and granddaughter, and grandmother. You're usher to those krovim. The get is ineffective, according to Gamliel. And same thing with maimer. Maimer is where you do kiddushin, right? You do kiddushin. Now again, kiddushin is really not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do a bia, but the Chum said kimitzvah, so really supposed to do maimer. The best way of doing it, the hechsher mitzvah, that's what I'm going to say in a second. The hechsher mitzvah is to do first the maimer. You first introduce yourself, say, hi, I'm the Yavam, I'm going to give you a diamond ring, I'm going to give you a nice piece of jewelry, and then you go and do the bia. You don't just rush and do the bia. The best way to do it, or the hechsher mitzvah, is the maimer. Gamliel holds, the Gemara says clearly on Al Alphabet, Gamliel holds Maimer is Kona Kinyan Gomer, that Maimer affects a Kinyan Yibum. It affects the Kinyan Yibum, not the Kinyan Yisuin. Of course, Bia is what's necessary for Yisuin. So therefore, it affects the Kinyan Gomer. So you do Maimer to the second Yivama, it's ineffective. You already Kona something completely. So the Maimer, which is going to do for the second one, is ineffective at all. And therefore, you don't have to give a get to that. If you want to get out, once you do a mimer to two ladies, you have to get out of it. Like Gemara says, you can't do yibum anymore. So you have to get out of the mimer. So you have to give a get to the mimer, because mimer is like kiddushin. So you have to get rid of, if you do kiddushin, you have to give a get also. So you have to get a get to get rid of the mimer. According to Rabbanan, you have to get to both of them. According to Gamliel, the mimer to the second one is ineffective. You don't have to give a get there, and therefore you're not usher in the krovos. The Rabbanan would hold yesh maimer achar maimer, yesh get achar get. The second one is effective, and you're usher in the krobos. You have to give a get to both of them, and you're usher in the krobos of both of them. Now, we've explained our Gamliel. What is Shitas Rabbanan? What is Maimer effectuate? The Gemara in the Mishnah says, Harezuk mitzvah. So you do Maimer to one lady, and then you do Yevamos to that lady right away, straight away. So then that's mitzvah. Rashi is Avzuk mitzvah. So what is Maimer? It's not only according to Gamliel, it's according to Kinyan Gomer. According to the Rabbanan, what is it? I like to suggest, according to the Rabbanan, that Maimer is, hear these words out, a hechsher mitzvah. Hechsher mitzvah. Some Rishon even learn Kiddushin. The mitzvah of Kiddushin is not really a mitzvah. It's a hechsher mitzvah. It's a machlokas whether Kiddushin is a mitzvah or not a mitzvah. The Ran famously says in Maseches Kiddushin in the second parak, it's a hechsher mitzvah. All it is a hechsher mitzvah. It's not really a mitzvah. It's a hechsher mitzvah. What does a hechsher mitzvah mean? So I like to suggest that Chazal instituted proper manners and etiquette, and this is, I think, one of the bedrocks of Judaism is that, I don't know, I like to say this, but there was a person named Epicurean who was a Greek, oh God, my arm goes full out. No, I'm Jewish. He wasn't Jewish. Epicurean, he lived, I don't know, 3rd century BCE, before the Common Era, before Christ, BC, before Christ, BC, before Common Era. He lived in that time. His philosophy about life was that life is about enjoying pleasure, enjoying yourself, and pleasure, giving pleasure to yourself. But you have to do it in the refined and dignified, with etiquette, with manners. That was his philosophy on life. That's the purpose of life, is to do it with manners, to enjoy yourself, but to do it in a fair and with manners and with etiquette. To the point, the Gemara even named a type of person after him. You're hearing this for the first time. You ever hear an Apikoros? You know where the word comes from, Apikoros? It comes from this guy, Epicurean. Now, the connotation of Apikoros, and anyone who's come to yeshiva, Apikoros, he's a mamzer, he's a mummer, he's a disgusting person, he rebels against the Torah. But really, presumably, the word Apikoros comes from the word Epicurean. It's not such a bad thing, maybe even the best thing. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am the rebels. I can say things like this. Maybe I'm an Apikoros. No, I am an Apikoros. I'm Epicurean. I think that the Torah's foundation, the message of the Torah. The Torah doesn't want you to be porish and cause yourself deprivation and suffering. The Torah wants you to enjoy this world, but you have to do it in a fair way with etiquette. Vayashar v'asisa yashar v'tov. That's the guidelines of the Torah. Do the tov. What's tov? What's good? Ain't tov al Torah. Torah instructs you how to live an enjoyable life. Tov means good, pleasure. That's what we seek, what human beings seek. You don't have to think so much. Tov is good. Good is enjoyment. But it has to be yasher. It has to be done in a fair and just way. You can't just go steal someone's wife. You can't do things like that. You have to do it in a fair and accountable way. You can't steal. You can't do things. You have to have manners. When you sit down at the table, you have to eat with a fork and a knife. You have to sit down at a table. You have to put a handkerchief in your lap when you go out to eat. You have to do these things, and part of the Rabbanan's feeling of the concept of Maimer, even though it's completely ineffective, it's not Kona Kinyan Gomer, it's not even Kona Kinyan Yibum, but it is a Hechsher mitzvah, and that is the idea of a Hechsher mitzvah, is making something kosher. It's like by Tuma, you're machsher l'kabel Tuma, you prepare it, it's a preparation, and it's part of etiquette, and it's part of Judaism, and mitzvah, that's what Chazal said, that part of the mitzvah of Yasher V'Atov, that this is the proper way to do it. You don't just have, your brother is married to a woman, your brother died without children, okay, lady, come here, and let's go to the bedroom, we'll be together and do you. No. You have to give her a nice ring, you have to give her a diamond ring, you have to buy her jewelry, even if it's not the regular, even if it's not one of the Shalosh Regalim, you have to buy her a diamond ring, make her feel special, and then you can be bold. It's proper etiquette, that's the proper way of going out things, and that's the Rabbanan holds, that there is Maimer Achar Maimer, because technically Maimer is not a Kona at all. It's not Kona, it's not a Chatzi Kona. Some people say it's Kona Chatzi Kinyan. It's not Kona Chatzi Kinyan, it's not Kona anything. All it means is that you followed proper etiquette, and you followed proper etiquette, so therefore you did mitzvah, so therefore He didn't want to Kohen anything, so therefore it's ineffective to the first one. It's ineffective to the second one. It is a hechsher mitzvah. It's something. It's a hechsher mitzvah. The first one is a hechsher mitzvah for the second one, and therefore you do it to two women. You can't be married to two bottoms. So you need to get from both of them, and that would ask you to both the krovos. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the Mishnah Yomi.